You might not think twice about the money you use every day. Have you ever looked closely at your dollar bills? There are many features of the dollar bills that most people don't even notice when dealing with money. In this video, we'll show you 10 things you didn't know about US dollar. There could be some facts about your dollar that might even fascinate you. Number 10, the dollar sign. Dollar sign used to have two lines through it, but now it has one. That's because two lines means it was backed by gold and one means it's not backed by gold. In 1971, President Richard Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. You may have also heard that the dollar sign started as a U on top of an S. Over time, the bottom of the U disappeared, leaving the S with two lines through it, which was eventually simplified to only one line. In fact, this symbol was actually used for another form of currency before the US dollar. What is the original dollar sign? The dollar first appeared in print after 1800 and was widely used by the time the first US paper dollar was issued in 1875. Though the theory is now widely accepted. Number 9, US debt clock. US debt clock website shows a live calculation of the rising debt in real time. These numbers are insanely huge. The national debt is the debt that the federal government holds, which includes public debt, federal trust funds, and government accounts. There's a development in an algorithm which calculates the current estimated rate of change of the amount of debt outstanding in between the daily US Treasury updates. The formula components are recalculated daily as the latest official US national debt data is published, so that the algorithm continuously adjusts itself accordingly. As the total amount of deficit that the government has garnered, it is a number that encompasses what the government owes itself and others. The national debt is looked at in three parts: debt held by the public, gross federal debt, and debt subject to limit. Number 8, world reserve currency. US dollar is the world reserve currency. This is mainly because the royal families in Arabia agreed to use it as the accepted currency for purchasing oil. The first US dollar is one of the world's strongest currencies. It is the official currency of the United States as well as several other countries. Although it has a deep-rooted history in the United States, the dollar as we know it today was first printed in 1914. Printing began a year after the establishment of the Federal Reserve as the nation's central bank with the passing of the Federal Reserve Act. That's when the Fed started issuing Federal Reserve notes in $10 denominations featuring. 3 decades later, the dollar officially became the world's reserve currency. However, its ascendancy to the throne actually began not long after the ink was dry on that first printing in 1914. Number 7, the $1 bill won't go out of style. While you may see occasional redesigns of other US currency, it's unlikely that the $1 bill will get a makeover anytime soon. Larger bills have been updated to add counterfeiting prevention features, but the government doesn't feel a need to do that with the $1 bill because it isn't exactly a favorite of counterfeiters. A section of the Annual Financial Services and General Government Appropriations Act even forbids altering the dollar bill's design. Number 6, a bill's life expectancy is no longer than 15 years. After being used on a regular basis, bills wear out and are taken out of circulation. The $1 bill gets the most use and typically only lasts about 5.8 years. However, it's not the shortest life expectancy for a bill. That title belongs to the $10 bill, which surprisingly only lasts about 4.5 years. The $5 bill also has a shorter lifespan than the $1 bill, coming in at 5.5 years, whereas the $20 and $50 bills start to trend upward at 7.9 years and 8.5 years, respectively. The longest lifespan belongs to the $100 bill, which lasts an average of 15 years. Number 5, the dollar bill hasn't changed in over 50 years. The $5, $10, $20, and $50 bills have all been redesigned in the last decade or so, with the Federal Reserve adding color and watermarks to outsmart counterfeiters. But the dollar bill has remained unchanged since 1963. The reason why it's not been updated, according to the U.S. Treasury Department, is that this denomination is infrequently counterfeited. But another possible reason to take into account is likely the lobbying done by the vending machine industry, which would have to redesign its machines to accommodate new bills should the current design get an overhaul. Number 4. A different Washington once appeared on a different type of dollar. The First Lady, Martha Washington, was one of the faces of the $1 silver certificate. First printed in 1886, the certificates were backed by the U.S. government's silver deposits and featured an engraving of Martha based on her portrait by Charles Francois Jalabert. The silver certificates had a long run but were discontinued in 1957, though the last printing featuring Martha, this time with her husband, ran in 1896. To date, Martha Washington and Pocahontas are the only two women to have ever appeared on American paper currency. Number 3. It's not made of paper. It's not paper or plastic, but the US $1 bill is made up of cotton and linen. Yes, cotton and linen, the same material that makes up your clothes. Over the years, the percentage of cotton and linen has changed, but today most dollar bills are made of 25% linen fibers and 75% cotton fibers. Red and blue silk fibers were incorporated to the cotton-linen mix as a security. These red and blue fibers were made of silk early on, but today these are synthetic fibers. Nowadays, in many $1 bills, linen is fast being replaced by synthetic fibers. Thus, the composition is now about 80% cotton and 20% synthetic fibers. Number 2. You can track where a dollar goes. Cash is something that we use daily, but have you ever thought about who is tracking your dollars or how you can do it? The former is not something for the majority of citizens to worry about, as it only pertains to illegal activities. The most common way to track down marked dollar bills is to use UV markings and note the serial numbers of the bills. The internet has made it possible for initiatives such as where'sgeorge.com to be created. Websites such as these rely on people to provide information to help track money. As bills change hands and travel across cities, their locations are uploaded to money tracking websites, steadily increasing the tracking history of the notes as they come into contact with more people and more data is entered. Number 1. A star on a dollar bill means it's a replacement. All modern United States currency contains either a 10 or 11-digit serial number in order to make each bill unique. 10-digit serial numbers were on all bills until the new style came out in 1996. Those bills and all produced since then have an 11-digit serial. This star represents what is known as a replacement note. When a printing error occurs during a normal press run and renders a set of bills unusable, replacement notes are used instead. With replacement notes, a set of serial numbers can still have the proper number of bills even if some of the original bills had to be pulled. The replacement notes have a sequence of their own, using the star as their final letter. In general, replacement notes aren't worth more than regular bills. However, if you find a replacement note with a particularly interesting serial number or a large number of consecutively numbered replacement notes that you keep together as a lot, you may have a collector's item on your hands. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you haven't already, then don't forget to subscribe and press that like button. Also hit the bell icon so you could never miss new updates from us. Stay safe, and we will meet you in the next one.